Hi, welcome. It's episode 2 of Frantic Fanny's journey through the 4Ps, which are personal development, people, performance, and process. I'm Tabitha Pascoe and I am the business and lifestyle game changer, and I'm sharing with you a very personal story of one of my clients through her journey through the last year or so. And last episode we talked about how we first met and what was going on for her and what is it she really wanted. And today I'm just going to share a little bit about our goal setting session. So when we first met and we sat down and we looked at what she really wanted, not just in her business but in her life, because for me the two go together. I don't believe you can have one without the other, and for me it's about having a business that actually supports the lifestyle you really want, rather than just working really hard and not getting the rewards or the relationships or whatever else it is you want. And what commonly happens when we first sit down and talk about goals is it's very easy to think quite small, because we go straight into the how. And it was no different with Frantic Fanny. She would be thinking about, well, if what was possible and what wasn't possible. And I said, let's just forget about what's possible and what's not possible. Let's imagine you have a magic wand, and if you had all the resources you needed, if you had everything at your fingertips, what would you want in your business and lifestyle? And let's start from there. Let's start imagining, because actually, if we can imagine it, we can actually have it, providing we believe we can have it. And that's where it started. And she started thinking about her business. And ultimately, she wanted to have a business that would support her when she decided to have a family. If she was to settle down with her boyfriend Richard, and if they were to have children, how would the business support her, so that she wasn't gigging and singing and performing like she was currently doing and working the hours she was doing, yet having the business that actually gave her the income to give her the lifestyle she wanted while she was on maternity and beyond. And so we looked at the finances. So she said, I want to have a 40k profit in my business. And she talked about doing more of what she loved, because she was very much in her business. So she did everything from face painting to singing to stilt walking, to whatever was needed from her. She wouldn't tend to outsource it. She'd often just do it herself, partly because she could, right? Because we do what we can. But it isn't always what's going to serve us long term. So she wanted to work more on her business, not so much in her business. So one of her goals was to be 50% in her business, 50% on her business. One of her other goals was to actually spend a minimum of 2 Sundays a month with her boyfriend. And that doesn't sound a lot to some people, but for her, she worked pretty much every weekend, and she didn't really get the quality time that she wanted with her boyfriend, who worked during the week. And yeah, it was a real big deal for her. And I remember her sitting there going, I'm just not sure if it's possible. And sometimes, even if we don't believe it's possible, let's just write it down and see what happens, and maybe even borrow the belief from someone else, i.e. me. Because I believed it was possible. I believed it was 100% possible for her to spend more time with her boyfriend and outsource more of her work. Another thing was for her to be on top of her game, and part of that was about her skin, because being a performer and being in front of people, she suffered quite badly, and well, not so much now at all, but with eczema, and it flared up when she was stressed and when she worked too hard, because our bodies have a great way of telling us when we're doing too much. Her Achilles heel was her skin. Other people, it could be all sorts of, it could be illness, it could be anything, but hers was about her skin. And obviously, being a performer, putting on makeup when you've got sore skin is quite painful. So that was one of her goals, to sort her skin out. So those were some of the things that she talked about, that she wanted, and we wrote them down and we set them as intentions for the coming year. And then, of course, we start working on the how, and it was definitely integrated all of the 4 Ps. But it absolutely started with the first P, which is about mindset. It's about being aware of yourself. It's about your belief systems and your values, which leads me quite nicely onto values, which I did this with her on her first session. And I'm going to tell you a bit more about that on the next episode, about how our values help us when we are setting goals. So that's enough for today. I'd love to hear what your goals are, or what you think is possible or not possible. Because if you tell me you don't think it's possible, I'm going to tell you different. I'm going to tell you it is possible. It doesn't mean you don't have to put effort into getting what you want, but I do believe in allowing space for magic too. So that's Fanny's journey in the beginning of her setting goals in her business and her life. I'd love to hear what yours are. You can catch the next episode in a couple of weeks. Go on to YouTube, just type in Tabitha Business and Lifestyle Game Changer, and you'll find the episodes for Frantic Fanny there. Not to mention other programs and gratitude and other things that might be of interest to you. And I'd love to hear comments. I'd love to hear what's going on for you. But anyway, tune in in 2 weeks and find out more about Fanny. Anyway, until then, have an awesome couple of weeks, and I can't wait to see you again.